am 33 years old. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. I have been living in this hotel for the last 2 years. I have gained so much weight. My sleep schedule is all over the place. I stay up all night, sleep half the day. I spend way too much time on this phone. Yeah, I don't have no stuff. I am stuffless and I am so tired. I'm tired of waking up every day wondering how I'm going to pay for this hotel room. I'm tired of always saying tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. I'm tired of feeling like my life is on pause. I am not happy at all. Every day I get up, I tell myself tomorrow. Okay, girl, tomorrow is the day. We changing our life tomorrow. All for tomorrow to get here, and I do the same exact thing I did the day before. Make sure breathe good. Apply to jobs. Stress about how we gonna make it. Go to sleep. Wake up. Repeat every single day. And I honestly think it's time that I cut the excuses out. Like I am full of excuses.
Mm.
I continue to blame everything.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to cut the excuses out. But what she just listed off, I mean, it's pretty clear. This is a habit thing. You just got all the wrong habits. All the wrong habits. Let's go down that line of how she's living every day again.
For the last 2 years. I have gained so much weight. My sleep
Gaining
schedule is
weight.
all
She's eating a lot while at the same time staying stagnant. And by stagnant, I mean she probably doesn't get out and exercise very often. She's just eating and laying. Then she said her sleep schedule's out of whack.
over the place. I stay up all night, sleep half the day.
So she stays up late and she sleeps during regular business hours, regular working hours.
I spend way too much time on this phone. Yeah,
She spends too much time on the phone. Obviously, she's a creator, but I would also argue she's probably a massive consumer as well. So you're spending time on both ends. You probably wake up and you start consuming, and by consuming, I mean she's scrolling. She's on social media looking at things. So that already takes away her energy before the day even gets started. And then when she does muster up some energy, she still can't even get out of bed, take the bonnet off to film a video. That lets you know what her life is like. She didn't even get herself together to film the video. It doesn't get more lazy than this. And I'm not trying to come for her. She's in a bad cycle. She's in a bad habit cycle, which is going to ultimately lead to a habitual cycle of stagnation and procrastination. And see, here's the thing. She's flat right now. And by flat, I mean she ultimately has no traction and she has no momentum. She has nothing that would incentivize her to keep on rolling, keep on going. She needs to start building up some momentum. What else did she say? She doesn't have a car. She doesn't have a job. She's flat completely. She's deflated. And so, in order to start getting some momentum, she just needs to start getting some small wins. And she needs to build her days on small wins and a goal, an achievable goal, and a goal that'll also help her with the habits. And what I mean by help her with the habits, you wake up late, you get you a job, that'll solve all that. You'll stop going to sleep late and you'll start getting up early because you'll have a job. And so that could be the start of it. That could be the start of your momentum. And it would have other great things that will come alongside it in the form of compensation. You get some money flowing, you got some money coming in. But she is in a dangerous place. She's in a dangerous place. And listen, it's so much stuff stacked on top of each other that I can understand how it can be easy to feel stuck and ultimately to feel like you're buried. But it's only going to get worse unless you make a change. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's really just a click. So if you're here anyway, you might as well click that like button. And also, if you can hype the video as well.
wondering how I'm finna pay for this hotel room. I'm tired of always saying tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. I'm tired of feeling like my life is on pause. I am not happy at all. Every day I get up, I tell myself tomorrow. Okay, girl, tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day. We changing our life tomorrow. All for tomorrow to get here, and I do the same exact thing I did the
Mm.
day before. Make sure breathe good. Apply to jobs. Stress about how we're gonna make it. Go to sleep. Wake up. Repeat. Every single day. And I honestly think it's time that I cut the excuses out. Like I am full of excuses. I continue to blame everything that I have gone through, everything around me. And I just got to be honest with myself. Jasmine, you need to get up. Get up. Nobody is coming to save your life. If you want a different life, you have to make different decisions. Do I believe everything is going to work out for us? I honestly do not know. But I know I cannot.
For us. For us. And now it's getting egregious. Now it's getting egregious. Here's the thing. When you say us, now that leads me to understand that you have kids, at least a kid. And so you don't have the luxury anymore. You have to figure it out. You're in a hotel with your kid. Listen, I understand things can happen. I understand things are hard. But what I don't understand is why we're choosing to have kids. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that you were just the most productive person before you had kids, probably. So it's like, why did you think you was ready for that? Why we're gonna stop acting like it's so hard to not have kids. It's the same rationale when I see people who just can't stay out of jail. And then it's like, come on, man, this time, man, you can do it. I'm gonna be here to support you, but you got to change your ways. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna change. A couple weeks later or months, they right back in jail again. And it's like, man, what happened? And then eventually you just give up on them. You're like, really? You said you was going to change. How you still doing armed robberies? It's like, so you look me dead in my face. You didn't have no, you wasn't going to stop. That's how I be looking at it when I see all these people with all these kids. It's not that hard to stay out of trouble. It's not that hard to stay unimpregnated in 2026. And so now you don't get the luxury, I'm sorry, of just scrolling and just being a creator. You're too scattered. You're doing too many things. You need to stay focused on the main one. The main one is you got responsibilities, you got kids, you need to get a job, and you need to be working around the clock to achieve that. See, I thought we was just gonna make it about you, and then it'd have been cool. But now we got kids in the mix. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That's a choice. That is a choice. And you have more choice in it than even men have. See, men can slip up, and after that slip up happens, there's nothing we can do. It's out of our hands completely. Y'all have way more choices than us. Preemptively, because even for us to be able to, can you imagine if men see they'll never design a pill for men like they have for women, where you could just take it as a man, and now all of a sudden it's a 99% chance you can't get somebody pregnant. They're not, I doubt they're even trying to create that, because the system depends on men making mistakes like this so that then you can hold them in the run them through the ringer, and basically now you have control over that man through someone else. And that's also why they divide us as well. But yeah, they would, y'all have so many options. So many options. And so yeah, these are choices. So you made the choice. So now you have to do whatever it takes for that child. I don't want to hear it. If a man isn't paying his child support or whatever, and he's just like, yeah, I'm depressed, man. Like I just sit in the bed and I stay up late and I do this. They're gonna say, brother, you better get it together, or else you're gonna go to jail if you don't pay this money. So you're grown too. You're independent too, just like we fought for and where we are. So that's how we're gonna have to give you the swift kick in the A to get up off your A and do what you got to do to provide for these kids you decided to have.
Just gotta be honest with myself. Jasmine, you need to get up. Get up. Nobody is coming to save your life. If you want a different life, you have to make different decisions. Do I believe everything is going to work out for us? I honestly do not know. But I know I cannot continue to keep doing the same exact thing and then looking around, wondering why ain't nothing changing. I am tired of watching months go by and feeling like I'm stuck in the same exact place. I want so much better for us, for me and for Bree. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want Bree to be healthy. I want Bree to be happy. I want to be proud of myself. And I'm starting to realize nobody can do that but me. I want some stuff. I'm tired of being stuffless, for real.
Some stuff. Here's the thing. I feel like she's just focused on the outcome. I don't think she's really focused on what it's going to take. When I really look back at my life, I'm gonna make it personal for a second. Sometimes I look because I feel like I do have some blessings, some things, and when I say blessings, I just mean that I'm grateful for. But then a lot of times I'll look back, I'll be like, "Nah, you deserve that, man." I was going at it. I was going after life. Of course, I'm gonna get lucky a few times and have some opportunities. That's how I look at it because I was going at life, and I still do to this day. I continue to try to make myself uncomfortable. I love to preserve my edge. And by my edge, I just love to stay sharp. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm chasing comfort. I want to always be evolving and improving. And listen, you want to feel bad for you not even trying and but you just wanted stuff. Imagine how it feels to be trying with everything in your heart. And you see, excuse me, you see other people who because success, the timing for success is going to always be different for everybody. You could have 10 people all doing the same actions in the same way in the same environment and only two people might actually pop off early and the rest of people have to continue to grind and endure and there's going to be people who fall off and funny enough even the people who fall off fell off did more work than the people who had just popped off for instantly. And funny enough, we see this in the labor force, the job force, right? There's only so many promotions at companies. Everybody's working hard, but it's only going to be a select few for whatever reason that sometimes get that success at a time. So success is going to be different for everybody in anything. But the only thing that you can actually predict is that if you stay down for long enough and you endure for long enough and you stay consistent and you stay committed, that eventually it will pop. That eventually it will pop off. So I've had so many times when I was staying down, staying committed, and it was actually falling off. I was failing, even though you put so much in. Do you know how hard it is to see other people who aren't better than you and they continue to move on and then you fall off and you continue trying and then you get dropped right back at square one and you got to pick up all the pieces again and start back from square one if you want to have any chance of anything. But yet you get right back on the horse. And then after, when it's all said and done, and when you finally get to where you got, you're actually grateful for the fact that you had the harder road and you had all the setbacks because every setback only served to strengthen your resolve. And ultimately, it kept you sharp and it kept you basically in battle. That's like if you have commanders and you have one commander and he's just been able to move up the chain easily and he got all the opportunities and maybe he had certain moments and then off his moments they glorified him and allowed him to continue to move up to where now he gets to just lead from the back and just make strategies and then you have another general to where he had to get it straight off merit. He had to go into battles, and he had to become the person to where they say, "Nah, we just take care of this dude. We don't want him to quit because he when he goes into battles, we know he gets the battles done. He handles it personally, and even to this day, his only youth, he moved up. He became a general too, but we still want him on the field because we know what he can do when he actually gets out there. And so when you take the harder path, you become that second general, that general that's just so sharp, just always ready, and that ultimately can drive impact through his own capabilities and doesn't have to necessarily be given anything. But that's a hard path. And I feel like that's something to have sympathy for. But you not even trying, but just wanting all these things. I feel like that's like, nah, man. Come on, you ain't even trying. And you got kids. Mm-mm. This isn't the time for sympathy. You need to do something.
Nobody can do that but me. I want some stuff. I'm tired of being stuffless, for real. I'm probably rambling, but I just woke up today and I'm so tired. So I think instead of waiting until I have this perfect plan, which I keep trying to come up with every day, I write a new plan of how we finna get up out of here. But I'm not acting on it. I
Mm.
gotta stop waiting and just get up. Get up, Jasmine. Get up. I'm finna get up out of this bed because if I want my life to change, I have to get up and actually do something about it. Enough is enough. I'm
Yeah.
about to get up and get myself together today.
Get up today. I like the fact that she came on social media for the accountability though. But at the same time, you have to remember Rome wasn't built in a day. So even if you get up today, this ain't gonna move the needle. You're going to have to commit. And that means you're going to get up every day. And the more extreme, the better. But somebody in the comments said something that I love to hear. She said, that's because you're not sick and tired of being sick and tired. Somebody else said a great comment. These are women. These are other black women giving great advice. It says, God can't move if you don't move. But somebody came to her defense with the excuses, with the victimhood excuses. Here's what it reads. It says, y'all are acting as if the job markets aren't trash. Government assistance, question mark, trash. You're not entitled to government assistance. We need to stop thinking that we're entitled to get help by the government, especially when it's clearly one sided. It's mostly women who are able to get government assistance. No, 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 no. What we need to be saying is keep having kids you know you can't afford. Trash. That's trash. Stop having kids that you're not ready for, and you know you go through these periods where you face procrastination and you're not willing to do whatever it takes to be able to take care of your own self. What makes you think you're about to do it for your kids? And a lot of people do get incentivized and motivated by their kids. So why aren't you? Is what I want to know. Is it that bad? It can't be that bad because you chose to do this. I've already articulated why, but more elaboration of the victimhood that she wrote. She said, government assistance, trash. A lot of people don't have family support. No, I'm not making excuses for her, but sometimes people go through seasons in life that other people may not understand. She probably doesn't understand either. This is all a part of her testimony. Also, people go through debilitating depressions. Y'all go so hard on people. That's why I despise the internet greatly. Well, here's the thing. When you have kids, don't you know that what that is doing is that means that every day you have to wake up and you got to show up for that kid? When the kid was a baby, that should have been the greatest representation of that. There's not going to be a day when that kid does not need you. So, seasons, you don't get to do that. See, here's how you hedge against the seasons, right? Here's how you hedge against these seasons that everybody goes through, right? When you decide to have kids, because you know that there are still seasons and you're still human, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make very sure, make almost certain that whoever you're having a kid by, you plan on staying with that person for ideally a lifetime, but at the very least, as long as it's going to take to raise that kid, or at least raise that kid to the point to where, we don't got to say 18, at least 14, 15. They're a teenager. That's ideally how you would do that. That way, you get to go through your seasons and you got a little help. But if you decide not to do it that way, or you decide that you're going to have certain philosophies, or you're going to allow petty disputes to cause you all to not actually stay together for the sake of that child, especially when your life is supposed to be dedicated to that child once you have a child, which means that it's very clear that children thrive better in two-parent households. So are we doing what's in the best interest of the child? The court system loves to say that the boxer Devin Haney, it just found out that the woman that he had kids with, he's going to have to pay her $20,000 a month. And for and for them to hit you like that, knowing that it don't take all that to take care of a kid, you know what they'll tell you? Well, we're doing what's in the best interest of the child. But yet they don't have nothing in the court systems to say, y'all need to stay together. That's in the best interest of the child. When we clearly know that is what's in the best interest of the child. But it'll all of a sudden just become all about money, because that's what it was about to begin with. And it's not only about money, it's also about control. Because if a man isn't tied to something that can actually control him, then a man can do a lot of great things. And also, a man can be dangerous, especially when you get a lot of men together that don't agree with certain things. And they can't have that. They can't have that. So they need a way to be able to restrain and to be able to confine the power and ability of the potential of what men who are sick and tired of something can do. So this is a very good tool. You know what they say, if you want to get to a man, all you got to do is use a woman, or get to him through his woman. And this is one of the ways that they've infiltrated to be able to, well, I'm not going to go on a tangent. I'm not going to go on a tangent here. But I'm just saying, the bottom line, we were talking about seasons. If you want to be able to go through these seasons and you be able to take a little bit off your plate, then you were supposed to prioritize staying together in a relationship. And if you don't do that, then you don't get to go through seasons, because we got to do what's in the best interest of the child, and the child needs you, and the child needs stability. And a hotel room ain't stability, especially when you clearly have nothing but time and opportunity. But instead, you're saying that you stay up late, watching TV, scrolling, doing all this stuff, and then you wake up late, and you really just on your phone a lot. I really can't have too much sympathy for that. I understand that these things are addictive. I really do. And I think we're going to find, as we continue to do research, just how addictive they are, just like anything else. And they'll probably even have to have rehabs for people who are so addicted to these devices. And they'll need to regulate even more further than they already have. But you're going to have to power through that, because you got a kid that's dependent on you.
Imagine waking up in the morning. You want to be able to do things on your own terms, but you can't because you have to get up and go to work. Then you have to go to work and deal with people that don't even appreciate you or respect you. And that's how I felt working a 9 to 5. I felt like when I worked a 9 to 5, I didn't have much freedom. And I'm not saying that you have to have freedom at a job, but I want to have a job where I can do things on my own terms. I hated asking to use the bathroom, taking my break, asking to request days off. It's a whole lot of different things that I just did not like working a 9 to 5 job. And I specifically told myself that I no longer could do it no more. I personally feel like a 9 to 5 job does take away a lot of time from people, because it could be in some sort of way, it could be moments where you probably want to spend more time with your family. Imagine waking up in the morning.
She said some things in there that I understand. I just don't understand how with so many young people who are already burnt out from working. Work 10 years in the workforce and then start at least and then start talking like this. I mean, you were technically kind of having to go to work for a large part of your life and you weren't even getting paid for it. I would consider school, I mean, you were doing labor in school, maybe not hard labor, but you were using your brain and doing things in school and you weren't getting paid for it. So I kind of feel like you should be happy to be able to come out here and make a little money as a young person and just have some new experiences. And not just new experiences, but you kind of get to choose where you go and work. And you can learn a lot of things the same with school, but now you're just learning things with on the job experience. And it's building character and you get to see things from the ground up. I'm sure you wouldn't mind working if you was the CEO cuz y'all love being bosses. I'm sure if you was the CEO, you wouldn't mind it then, working a 9 to 5. We got to be real, and everything that comes with that. But guess what? To be a good CEO, you should know what it's like to be on the ground level. On the ground level, people just want the highest echelons that life has to offer, but they don't want to actually do it the right way. They don't want to go through the right steps and take the right path that will ultimately make sure that they have all the internal characteristics necessary for that next step. Characteristics. That's literally why people will say a job and labor builds character. It's going to build the character that you're going to need at those higher levels as you continue to move up. So I understand being young and not being able to see the vision. I can understand that. But what I don't understand is being young and being so burnt out to where it's like you're just dreading work like a lot of people what we see. But y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you can like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel as well, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments where it will show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.